What's going on, guys? Welcome back to We Want Picks. My name is Jacob, aka the Freckled Salamander, here to bring you my quick pick video for UFC Paris. But before we get into the quick pick video, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you are new, and go to WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member today. It's only $10 a month, and I'm telling you right now, to support the channel, the fact that I had to sit here and watch film on all these fighters, you should become a premium member. And because this was a rough week, man, there is so many low volume strikers. Why do all these French people fight the same way? There's nothing wrong. All good strikers, but we'll get into it. The quick pick video for UFC Paris starts right now. First up, we got Farid versus Kleydson. I'm a big Kleydson guy. I'm telling you right now, I love Kleydson. We'll see what he looks like coming from 125 to 135. Really only coming from like 128, 129 to 135 because that guy's missing some weight a lot. We'll see if he's looking a little bit slower, a little bit heavier. He could look absolutely huge at 135, and I'm a little bit scared. I'm telling you right now, my Farid is my pick. Farid is my pick for this matchup because he should be able to stay safe in the striking. Kleidson's a very good, dangerous striker. Should be able to stay safe in the grappling. Kleidson's a very, very good grappler as well. But this is what I love about Farid in this matchup. He's a high IQ fighter. You know that he knows how to win rounds. And winning rounds in this fight is going to be very important. Kleydson is a guy that's going to be there. He is a very durable guy. At 135, I expect him to be even more durable than he was trying to cut that weight to 125. And Farid, I keep wanting to say job. And Farid is a guy that you can tell knows how to steal rounds, knows how to get those important takedowns, knows how to keep that control to win those rounds. And that's what it's going to come down to in this fight in my mind is the takedowns. The takedowns and the top control. Can he keep control of Kleydson? We saw a 125 CJ Vergara keep that top control. Really, really hurt Kleydson, especially in that second round with the full mount. But if you want to see who Kleydson is, watch the last minute. Don't watch any other fights. Don't watch any other fights on this card. I'm telling you, it's boring. But watch the last minute of the second round, that CJ fight. I mean, he is just getting beat on for 2 or 3 minutes, explodes out of position, gets back to his feet, is coming forward with the strikes. I don't see that same thing working against a guy like Farid in this match. So I do like Farid. I think that he can weather the storm early, steal rounds with some takedowns, with some control, and win this fight. But if Kleydson comes in at 135 and looks like an absolute monster and comes in and beats this guy, I'm not going to be super surprised. But Farid is, I think he is who everyone thinks he is. That is a very, very high-level fighter, very high-level IQ guy that knows how to stay safe, knows how to win rounds, and that is going to win him the fight in this matchup. So I am going with Farid. Let's move on to the next one. Ange Loosa versus Skeletor. What a great name. By the way, the second I saw the nickname was Skeletor, not picking that guy. I'm not picking a guy named Skeletor. Are you kidding me? When I'm watching him fight Skeletor, he is a long, rangy guy, and he uses his length. He is one of those rare people that is long, rangy, and pumps out that jab. Boom. Boom, he is pumping out that jab, and he breaks people down with that jab. And he snaps it, he snaps it. It's not overly fast. It's not overly powerful. It's not one of those piston jabs, but he hits people with it. He hits people with it. He follows with the right hand, and that's what he does to break down people and finish people. But he isn't overly explosive, isn't overly powerful, can get wrestled. And the thing in this matchup is that jab I don't see is going to be effective because Ange, when he fights in his defense, it is like a boxing style defense. Boom. Both hands right here. And it is really hard to punch through the jab unless you're really stepping in with like a power jab to split the guard. You know, and Skeletor doesn't really have that. He just pumps it out to touch you. But if you have a high guard like this and you were just touching those arms, I don't see him being able to work off that jab. I actually like Ange a lot in this matchup. I think he's going to have the wrestling. If he wants to mix in some wrestling, he can do that. He's going to have the power. He's going to have the speed. And I don't see him getting beat up by the jab because of that high guard. So I'm really pretty high on Ange Loosa. He's at Kill Cliff. He's getting a lot of looks. I know those Kill Cliff guys had a little bit of a rough weekend this past weekend, but I like Ange a lot in this matchup. I saw against AJ Fletcher. I know he got put on skates. He looked a little bit tired, but in the third round, after he was beat up, almost finished, who came out and got the takedown, got the control? He's got a little bit of dog in him as well. I like Ange Loosa in this matchup versus Skeletor. I just don't think that jab is going to be effective. And without that jab, I don't know what the guy's got. So give me Ange Loosa. Let's move on to the next one. Nora versus Joselyne. And Nora is a girl that hasn't fought the best people. I don't know how to say it nicely. Hasn't fought the best people. Has been beating them all for the most part, but hasn't been fighting the best people. Joselyne did not win her last fight. We can all be very open and honest that she got smoked, basically smoked in the last fight. And the thing that makes me not want to load up on Joselyne, because I'm telling you right now, Joselyne is my pick. Joselyne is the better fighter in this matchup, but Joselyne can get taken down. She can be flat on her back, and that could be an issue in this fight because although I don't think Nora is that good, and definitely isn't a better fighter than Joselyne, I did see 4 fights ago, something like that, some body locks and some like inside trips. And Joselyne is already somebody that's pretty easy to take down, but usually people are grabbing singles, running the pipe, dragging her to the ground. Nora doesn't have that. She doesn't possess the singles, the doubles. She's an unorthodox brawling type striker. Joselyne's going to be the better striker. She's going to have the cardio. She's going to have the experience. She should win this fight, but I worry if she's on her back early. Nora is a girl that is going to get aggressive with the elbows, with the ground and pound, with a wild submission here and there. So Joselyne is going to be my pick. I actually did place some money on her as well. She could come in. In my mind, and this is going to sound crazy to say about a girl like Joselyne, even though she's 13-4, I think she can smoke her. I think that she should smoke a girl at the level of Nora. Nora is just not at Joselyne's level. We'll see how it plays out. Joselyne is going to be my pick. I'm pretty high, but I do worry a little bit about her getting taken down, ground and pound. But she stayed safe in her last fight. We'll see if she can do it here. Joselyne is the pick. Let's move on. Zarah versus Jacqueline. Jacqueline's the pick. Jacqueline's the pick. This seems like the most obvious pick on the card, and we could all be in a world of hurt because Zarah came in as a monster underdog in the last fight after a 2-year layoff, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, she's going to get smoked, me included. And the first 3 minutes of that first round, it was like, oh no, because she looked sharp, she looked huge, she looked fast, she looked powerful, and then she just fell off a cliff. And when I'm watching Jacqueline fight, she is a perfect counter to that. She knows how to stay safe early. She looks much more seasoned than a 5-1 fighter. But that means she doesn't look overwhelmed at all. In her last fight, I think the girl that she fought in her last fight that she beat pretty handily, I mean, she dropped her like 4 times with 4 straight punches. It was pretty wild. The girl stood up, bam, put her back to the ground. She stood up again, bam, put her back to the ground. I think that girl would smoke Zarah. Zarah is a big girl. She looked better in her last fight, but now she's 39, 40 years old. Jacqueline knows what she's doing in there. She should be the way better striker to be able to weather whatever storm that Zarah is going to bring early and then start taking over, maybe a second, third round finish, something of that nature. But I am very high on Jacqueline in this matchup. She shouldn't have any issues. Maybe she has some issues DMing me. She's not answering my DMs. I don't know what that's all about. But in this fight, she shouldn't have any issues. Let's move on to the next one. Morgan versus Manolo. And this is going to start a run of, what, 1, 2, 3, like 3 French fighters that are like all the same. And let me say right now, I'm not trying to be mean about this, but Morgan is step 1. Let's just focus on Morgan right now. Morgan's the better fighter. Against a guy like Manolo, he is the better fighter. When you watch Morgan fight, when he's actually throwing strikes, you think, oh my God, this guy is really, really good. The issue is, he just stands there. There's so many times. And I don't know what it is with these French fighters. They're all very, very good strikers. And I know a lot of them are good counter strikers. So they are waiting for somebody to throw. But if the other person isn't throwing, they don't do anything. And Morgan is a guy that boom, boom, he'll throw a 1-2 and you're like, holy shit, that was fast. That was powerful. And then you're like, What is he doing? If you have money on Morgan in this fight, I guarantee there's going to be a moment in this fight where you're like, dude, you got to do something. And that's how he loses fights. 9 losses. There's a guy of this talent level should not have 9 losses. 8 of them decisions because he just doesn't do enough. And against a guy like Manolo will get in your face. He will do the wild stuff. So I'm not going to be surprised at all if Manolo comes in the first round, is the more aggressive fighter, steals the first round, and then you have to rely on Morgan to win both of the next 2 rounds with his low volume style. It's risky. It is risky. Now, Morgan is my pick. He is the better fighter, but as far as like a big favorite and putting money lines and putting them in parlays, there's a few fighters on this card where it's like, I don't know, man. There's just, I'm watching some of these fights and I'm like, I did it for you guys, man. I'm doing this video so you guys can get some cliff notes so you didn't have to like the video. You guys didn't have to sit here all day and watch these French fighters do nothing. And Morgan was one of those people. He is going to be my pick. But that low volume style, man, it drives me insane. Let's move on to the next one. Yanis versus Caolan. Loughran. I'm going to call him Big C. I don't know. I can't say this name. The Irish guy. I'm going to call him Big C. We just talked about Morgan and his low volume style. If you take Morgan's volume output and you divide it by 4.9324, that would be the volume output of Yanis. This guy is even more low volume. I don't understand what it is. Like, they'll just stand. They'll just stand. And against a guy like Big C, he's probably going to lose the fight because of it. Yeah, he is a good counter striker. Yeah, he is a very precise striker. And if Big C comes in and gets a little bit too aggressive and a little bit too in his face, yeah, Yanis is a guy that can't snipe him, can't hurt him. Because Big C is a guy, when you watch him, he is just tight. I mean, he is just like, everything, it just feels like his whole body is moving with every strike. It's just the way he stands is so straight. He should have the speed. Or I don't know if he's got the speed. He's got the power advantage. He's going to have the pressure advantage. I think he probably is the better fighter. But again, if you guys want to play Yanis, I get it. He is nice and sharp with his counter striking. Big C is a guy that you probably can counter. So this is what it is. My pick is Big C because I can't go with these low volume strikers unless the gap is wide enough. Morgan, the gap is wide enough. I'm going to pick him, right? Yanis, the gap isn't wide enough. I think Big C's got the pressure and the power, can hurt this guy. And even though he's 12-1, yeah, I'm going Big C in this matchup. The low volume. Guys, you got to watch the live stream with me this Saturday because somebody's got to sit here and watch. I'm going to go crazy Saturday. I can't stand low volume strikers. Yanis is one of them. I'm going Big C, the Irish guy, in this matchup. Let's move on to the next. William Gomez versus Lucas Almeida. By the way, former lock of the week. Not only former lock of the week, but former lock of the week winner, William Jaguar Gomez, coming in against Lucas Almeida, who get absolutely smoked in his last matchup. But again, we just talked about Morgan. We just talked about Yanis. If you take Yanis's output and you multiply it by 0.5, that is the output of William. William is another one of these French guys that's very good. Very good precision counter striker. Very good. I mean, everything he does, when he throws, you're like, man, this guy could be a champion. He also can mix in a takedown, some grappling. He's a sambo guy as well. But he's another guy that you just like, do more, William. He is coming off a majority decision. Then a split decision. I think it catches up to him, man. I love William Gomez. He was my lock of the week. But against a guy like Lucas Almeida, I just cannot trust him because I know that Lucas Almeida will get in your face. Yeah, last fight he got smoked. I picked him against Pat Sabatini. He got taken down. Pat Sabatini, when he gets on top of you, has some of the best top control in the UFC, and he was absolutely beat up in that matchup. William Gomez doesn't have that type of grappling. So don't try and copy and paste Lucas Almeida's last performance into this performance. This is a great matchup for Lucas Almeida because William Gomez will just kind of wait. And Lucas Almeida is a very good striker with very, very real power. And William Gomez is a guy that has fought his last 2 people that have allowed him to wait. The last 2 people he's fought, for whatever reason, will play that game. He's just keeping it range, and they're just, and they're scared to engage. The last guy he fought had like an 11% striking percentage because he just couldn't get there. Lucas Almeida's going to get in his face, man. He got completely embarrassed in his last fight. He is going to pressure William Gomez, and William Gomez doesn't have the power, in my mind, to really get Lucas off of him. He's a good counter striker. He does have good precision. He does have really, really good kicks. But as far as like just kind of volume pressure to keep the pressure off of you, I just don't see it. I think Lucas Almeida gets in this guy's face, hurts him early, and could find a finish. William Gomez, by the way, is not a quitter. He is not an easy out. He is not going to be... So even if Lucas Almeida hurts him, that is not the end of this fight. So there could be a situation where William Gomez is hurt, overcomes adversity early, and then is able to win the second and third rounds. But again, if he gets behind, that means he needs volume to win rounds. And we've seen he just does not have volume, man. He will just wait. I like Lucas Almeida in this matchup against my former lock of the week, William Gomez. Let's move on to the next one. Volkan versus Bogdan. And this is one where it's going to be like, is Bogdan a real dude or is he not? Because the people he's fighting aren't the worst people, right? We've seen people come into the UFC with records like 14-2, with all these knockouts, and you look at these records and you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. But it's not like he's been running through a gauntlet of people and he is UFC prepared. This guy is not UFC ready. But against a guy like Volkan, who can be knocked out, it could be a good matchup for him. The issue is with Bogdan, I believe that his confidence is going to be his detriment, right? I mean, he is coming through and just kind of smoking everyone that he fights, and he's going to come in this fight, and I would guess, I have no idea, but I would guess that if you ask this guy at 205, what do you see your career trajectory? I think he says, knock out everyone in the first round, and I become the champion. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with confidence. The issue is when you come forward aggressive with confidence to try and knock people out, and the person you're fighting has a decent chin, but also has real power in their counter strikes, that is where you run into issues. And that's where I kind of see this going for Volkan. Now, if he comes in, Bogdan, against Volkan, and he smokes him, I'm not going to be super surprised, right? This is a situation where I think in the first 2 or 3 minutes, this fight is over. Whoever wins, wins. I'm going to pick a side because this is a quick pick video. I am going to pick Volkan because I do like his counter-strike ability in those shots. I see Bogdan a lot with his hands down, overconfident, just kind of marching forward, throwing those wild strikes, more brawling style. I think Volkan is going to be there. He's got the experience. He's been there. He's done that. He understands what these young kids are going to be bringing into the octagon. I think Volkan gets the snipe shot, the counter shot, and hurts his kid. But if he comes in and smokes Volkan, I'm not going to be super surprised. Super surprised. So my pick is Volkan. My play is on the under. You can go to wheelonpicks.com, see what that play is. It's only $10 a month. Become a premium member. But my official pick, it's going to be Volkan, but, it's like, it is what it is. Let's move on to the next one. Saint-Denis versus Thiago Moises. And listen, either side of this, everyone that's all over Benoit Saint-Denis this week, I get it, man. But I said all week, I understand how tough this guy is. Nobody understood how tough this guy is more than me. So if he comes in and outmuscles Thiago and wears him down and finds a finish and looks great, I'm not going to be super surprised in this matchup. The issue is for me, let's talk about Thiago, by the way. Thiago is a seasoned veteran. And if you watch him versus Islam, and this is what I'm kind of alluding to, Islam really had to work. Islam was not shooting these nice little clean singles, get him down to the ground, these blast doubles, and get him down to the ground. He was against the cage. He was working to get those takedowns, methodically working inside these clinch positions to get takedowns. Yeah, he picked him up at once, but Thiago at one point picked up Islam, slammed his ass to the ground. Thiago is a very, very good grappler. And Benoit Saint-Denis, for as tough he is, for as gritty as he is, for as nonstop as he is, his entries are not great. He's relentless with them, but his entries are not great. And against a guy like Thiago, especially early, I think he's really going to pay for those entries. I think he's just able to defend them. And that's why I'm going to pick Thiago in this matchup. Benoit Saint-Denis to me is like the Cody Durden of this division. He's not the most talented fighter in the world. There's nothing wrong with that. Cody Durden's smoking everyone at this point. But Cody Durden beats people by just being absolutely relentless, in your face, with the takedowns, the chain wrestling, but he can get into some tight spots. He can get hit, and he works through that stuff, but he does get caught sometimes. And in this matchup, I just see Benoit Saint-Denis is a little bit sloppy with his takedowns. They don't work early. He gets behind, and then he can't catch up. It's a 3-round fight. I don't see him taking Thiago down and submitting him in the first round. I think that he's going to be relentless in the first round. Thiago's going to defend, win the first round with his striking. Thiago's the better striker. Second round, I think, is more of the same. And if Benoit's able to finally work him down and grind him and get him to the ground, I think it's a little bit too late. But if you guys are on the Benoit Saint-Denis side, I get it, man. I get it, especially if you got him plus money. If you guys were a premium member, by the way, Angelo had a bet on him last week when he flipped the plus money. Plus money, I think, is incredible for a guy like Benoit Saint-Denis because he's going to work for your money. He is not a guy that gets put out. I don't see Thiago finishing this guy at all. I just think Thiago early can defend the takedowns, the sloppy-ish takedowns. I don't want to be, be like offensive with it or whatever, but the sloppy-ish takedowns, he's going to win the striking exchanges, win a couple of first rounds, but we'll see. If it turns ugly in the second, grindy in the third, this definitely can be a fight for Benoit Saint-Denis. I just like the experience, the grappling abilities, the takedown defense of a guy like Thiago in a 3-round fight. Listen, if Benoit Saint-Denis was fighting Islam, I don't think anyone is picking Benoit Saint-Denis. Thiago went 4 rounds with him, took him down, showed some ability to defend some takedowns there. So I am going Thiago Moises in this matchup. Let's move on to the next. Gane versus Dog Rose. I'm the best. I'm picking Manon in this matchup because she beat Kate. I can't stand Caitlin Chukagian, and she beat Caitlin. People are going to say, oh, it was a close fight. Every single Caitlin fight is a close fight. The reason I'm picking Manon in this matchup because I don't know what Rose does to her. Coming up at 125. If Rose thinks that she's going to come up to 125 and out-wrestle her, out-grapple, Rose is just shooting singles. She's not shooting doubles. She's not getting takedowns in this matchup. Manon's going to be way too strong for her. Manon can actually get some takedowns of her own. Manon is a girl that is at 10-1, number 5 in the division, but she already has a resume. She finished a Victoria Leonardo. She finished a Tabitha Ricci. She beat a Caitlin Chukagian. She beat a Myro Bueno Silva. These are real, legit people. And Rose coming off that wild fight in her last fight. Hasn't fought in a while. Now it's like, oh, I'm going to come up and wait for what? What are we doing? She's like trying to refine herself in this division. Manon Fiorot is a good striker. Really good striker. Knows how to keep that range, can lay in the volume, can mix in a takedown. I just don't see what Rose does. I don't see what Rose does in this matchup. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm a little bit clouded. Maybe she comes in and shocks the world. But at 125, she's not going to have the length that she had at 115. One of the best abilities that she had at 115 was her length, that in and out style, boom, boom. Manon is just as long as her. And she's going to be more powerful and bigger and stronger. I think it's a mistake. I think this is a terrible matchup for Rose. And I am Manon all the way in this matchup. Let me know in the comments below if you think Rose wins and what you think she can do to her. I can't see it. Let's move on to the main event. Event time. We got Gane versus Sergey Spivak. It's not the other Sergey, by the way. Somebody came in the Discord. By the way, the Discord, 100% free. It's in the description below. You can join it. Hang out with me. I'm in there like every single day. I got nothing better to do. But somebody came in the Discord and was like, I bet on Sergey, and then I realized that it wasn't the other Sergey, and now I have to try and cancel I think they cashed out their bet or something. They're like, I saw Sergey at plus money. It's like, listen, if you are playing Sergey, I get it. If he's able to get the takedowns, if he's able to get control, I understand. How I see this fight is, I don't want to say it's exactly like the Aljo Sugar fight, but it's similar because of the footwork and athleticism of Gane. Gane is a guy that just doesn't stand in front of you. He is moving. He is side to side. And you saw how hard or how much trouble Aljo had chasing down a guy like Sugar with the footwork. He couldn't corral him. And by the time he tried to corral him, he was able to get there with the snipe shot. And these are heavyweights. And I know Cyril Gane's not like this put away power guy, but against Spivak, he can snipe him because Spivak has, interesting entries, I would say. He does have some singles, not really blast doubles, one of his best attributes. And one of the reasons why I like Gane in this matchup is because Spivak likes the body lock. First of all, he took down Derek Lewis with like a headlock, drag, takedown. I don't think that's going to happen to Cyril Gane. He's going to have issues getting his hands on him, but when he gets his hands on him, Spivak is very good at trips. inside trips, outside trips, dragging people to the ground. And what I love about Gane in this match, I'm not ready to give up on him yet, right? I understand. I picked him against John Jones. He got smoked. I don't think he was ready mentally for that fight. He looked like a mess that entire fight. Just did not look like himself. In front of the home crowd, home fans, it should be a little bit different. I like Ciryl Gane's athleticism because I like his balance in this fight. Sergey, if he gets him in that body clinch, in that body lock position, and he tries those trips, I like Gane's athleticism. I like his footwork. I like his balance. And Spivac is also a guy that doesn't keep control on the ground. He is constantly working on the ground. If he gets you to the ground, it is striking, 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 looking for submissions, and people get up. When people get up, a lot of times he does keep control, and he gets them back down to the ground. But people do get up, and Gane is a guy that's an athlete. He is strong. If he does get back to his feet, I think he can break out of those positions, get back to space, and obviously at space, Gane is head and shoulders above Spivac in the striking. So this is going to come down to footwork, athleticism, and cornering of Spivac. And I just think that early on, he's going to have trouble finding Gane. And by the time he's able to find him, he's going to be a little bit worn down from all the chasing, all the desperation. And Gane is going to be able to wear him down, beat him up with the strikes, maybe find a finish in the second or third round. So I am going to go with Gane, but I get it. If he's taken down, it is what it is. I have not bet him yet. We'll see how it happens. Live stream should be wild, though. Make sure you join me Saturday, by the way, for the live stream. We're going to be live for the entire card. This has been my quick pick video for UFC Paris. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you are new. Go to we1picks.com. Become a premium member. Tornese un membro primo. E per $10 Obrigado.